most of us, we don't keep up with the cost to build a home. We don't know what those numbers are or potential liability costs if someone gets hurt on your property. So how do we know if we're underinsured or overinsured? Is there like a formula or a place we can look that up? How does
Yeah,
it
so
work?
I don't believe in overinsurance, but I'm also insurance poor because I buy everything. I'm risk adverse, right? So
Yep.
I
Yep.
would worry more about being underinsured. Umbrella policies are great to match assets. So I'm in the financial service side too. So oftentimes I'm asking people about their assets. And when I look at their assets, if their liability doesn't meet their assets, we have a gap. So liability is the big one. Oftentimes people, I know we're talking about fire insurance, but with car insurance, I look at car policies and oftentimes I wouldn't back out of my driveway with the insurance that they're driving with for liability. The average liability claims are really high in auto insurance. A lot of times they exceed policy limits. But if you don't have enough liability insurance, you can't file bankruptcy against that claimant that's coming after you to take your stuff. They can actually garnish your wage, they can file liens against you, and they last for 30 years. So liability
Gosh.
is the most important part of your household. So umbrella, auto, home liability, those all have to be in alignment. I've seen life insurance claims where somebody was in a car accident, they didn't make it out of the car accident. The life insurance on that person went to the other family because their auto insurance wasn't enough to cover that cost, or that other person that was injured in the other vehicle. And so the judge decided, hey, well, you have this $300,000 life insurance policy in this estate. We're going to award that to the other family. So the family that was supposed to get the life insurance proceeds didn't. I've seen where titles for homes, second homes, have been written, signed over to claimants on the party that wasn't at fault. I have a claims adjuster that actually works for me. She was in claims for 17 years, and liability claims for home and for auto. I just had one that was a recent dog bite that was a $20 million claim. I can give you a lot of claim stories,
Wow.
and it's,
I bet you can.
change in lifestyle, and so liability is your biggest one. If you think about auto and home insurance, like let's say you're $50,000 short on rebuild or personal property, that's not going to change your life. That's going to hurt. But when it comes to liability, that's where it'll change your life. That's where you can lose everything. So, and again, you can't file bankruptcy. I had a client whose son was in an accident and it was his fault. He hit somebody. There was a lien on him. He could never buy a house until that lien was satisfied. He could never get a job without them garnishing his wages. It was bad. He ended up committing suicide
My
after he was
gosh.
40 years old because he could never, and he was 19 when he got in his car accident. And it was because he could never get back on his feet. He never had a second chance. So it was really sad.
Wow. Yeah, that is. So if somebody is concerned, what they need to do is talk to their agent
Yeah,
and make
absolutely.
sure that they're covered